dibs were implied.
Implied dibs?
Yeah.
Ted, you are spitting on the grave of Sir Walter Dibs, inventor of the dib.
First Tips question today brought to you by Trantolo and Trantolo, your personal injury law firm. Been doing it for over 85 years in Hartford, Waterbury, Bridgeport, New Haven, Torrington, and Long Island, now in New York and Riverhead and Melville. So they've been giving back to the communities for almost 100 years. Dial 9. Save some time. 844-999-9999. So where do we think that Donovan Clingan will end up in this year's draft?
Number one, dude. Number one. Listen, I was on the page of they're not even going to put him in the first round, and that was at the beginning of the season. And Ashmead keeps on telling me every week of, like, him stepping up. Oh, they got him at 20. Like, really? They got him in the lottery pick? Really? And over the last month since the championship, 2 months since the championship, and after hearing the profiles of these Frenchies, I'm sorry. He is ready to step into a game today. These other guys, no, they're not. They're going to take some time. They're going to need some pizzas and milkshakes to get their bodies up to speed. Or else it's going to be like Caitlin Clark's first couple of weeks in the WNBA. They're going to get thrown around all over the place. Donovan is ready to play right now. Donovan has won championships every year he played college basketball. Like, this guy is cruising to have the best resume in the history of the game. Really. I think you're stupid if you don't pick him number one. Atlanta Hawks, Donovan should be your pick right off the bat tonight.
Well, there's your first mistake. You think any of these owners are smart or their people
That's my mistake every year in the draft.
Every year. So
I keep forgetting.
You know, Tony Ressler, the owner of the Atlanta Hawks, he's also, I think, married to Jamie Gertz, who's the former actress that's I think, billionaire as well. You know, when you're looking at some of these people and, you know, the owners of these teams, they're going to listen to even stupider people that are analytics people that think they have their pulse on the NBA future. But if you just finished watching the NBA Finals, the Celtics did it with a team. You've seen the Milwaukee Bucks. You've seen the Denver Nuggets. They've all done it with really good teams, well-balanced, play defense in the postseason, and the Celtics were no different. Well-coached, 35-year-old coach, had these guys doing basic fundamental stuff. These people aren't thinking like that. They're thinking with these nerds that are going to tell them everybody's going with these European guys. You know, these European guys are the future. And so there's going to be mistakes. I'm not saying Clingan's one of them or even Steph Castle. I'm saying there's going to be a lot of other players that drop because they continue to make the same mistake over and over and over. So I know Clingan will go in the top 5. I don't know which team will be smart enough to take him, but I do know there's a lot of dumbass teams that are going to be swayed by the pundits, swayed by these mock drafts, and, you know, talking about these French-born players. I don't know how tough these guys are. I do know how competitive Zach Edey is. I know how competitive some of these other college players were last couple of years in the tournament, and even some of these freshmen players, Steph Castle. These guys want to play basketball. They want to win. When I look at the Celtics, their defense just won them a championship, and most of the playoffs they played without their best European player in Kristaps Porzingis. So when I think about European players, I think about Doncic and how he was shut down in the postseason and how he didn't play great defense. And every time the Celtics were doing the switch on Doncic, they owned him. So for me, it's really about these people and the ones that run these clubs and sitting in the war room. I'm a Cowboys fan, and year in and year out, I'm never shocked at the stupidity on draft night on some of the picks that these people make.
There's some landmines for our guys, though, if they don't fall to the right franchise, because we have seen it with a couple of these teams over and over again, like you're talking about. The Washington Wizards, I mean, that is just an abyss of NBA talent that nobody gets out of there alive, it feels like.
Yeah.
The Rockets wouldn't be a bad fit for either one of those guys. It's just such a young team. I think Ime Udoka is going to figure something out. They're going to be a better team here in the upcoming years. San Antonio is at 4, and San Antonio is at 8. You would think that either Stephon Castle at one of those slots or Donovan Clingan, if he fell to 4, would be teamed up with Wembanyama and Coach Pop, and let's go. But in between there, especially I'm thinking of Steph right now, boy, I don't want you to go to Detroit. Boy, I don't want the draft to put him in Charlotte. Like, we've already seen this with Kemba.
Charlotte's terrible.
Oh, my gosh.
Portland's terrible. Those are, you're going to die.
So
you're not going to, until you can get traded out of there, you're not going to win championships.
Yeah, so like when Steph is sitting there, if he's not picked in the top 4, oh man, I hope that he just goes to the bathroom and people forget about him until San Antonio picks again until 8, because Detroit, I have seen it year in and year out. Charlotte, I've lived it with this team. No, you don't want to be a part of these two franchises because they have proven to mess up talent, especially their early draft picks.
And I agree. I mean, 8, 9, 10, Bulls aren't awful. Okie City, Sacramento are up and coming.
Yeah.
And young.
Yeah.
So, honestly, to fall out of the top 5 is not the worst place to be for Steph Castle or Clingan, but I think both are going in the top 5, which, unless they go to like San Antonio or Houston, not going to be happy.
Now, they can make a difference there themselves. It's not like they go there and they don't have anything to say about it. But still, the higher you pick, the more money you get. But the lower you get picked, maybe the more longevity you have in this league, because that franchise won't ruin you.
How quickly things change from Yankees to Mets. We're going to talk more Mets in the Daily Pickle coming up.
Our iHeartRadio